Alright, what's up everyone? We're out here in Island and we're going to talk about the most dangerous trees you should be checking for every single time you're in a raid and when you should be checking those trees. Let's go ahead and get right into it. Alright, now we're going to start with this radio side of the map, then we'll go to the sensor lab side of the map, and then we'll go to like the far border side of the map, alright? Now starting on this side on radio, there is a lot of trees here, you can see that, right? But there's only a couple trees that a lot of players really like to hide in, especially mid-game or sometimes early game, depending on where you spawn at, right? So the first one we're going to talk about is this one right here. This is probably one of the most important trees to check if you spawn Lighthouse. Maybe you want to check it while you're coming up this hill. Someone could spawn down here in this corner and rush it. I do it all the time. If you're rushing Lab's roof, maybe you want to come peek at this tree from the slits between, because there's a lot of players that like to kill people from Lab's roof at this tree too. People go into the trees that give them the most, view, the most sight they can see. So this is definitely one of them. And if they're not coming to this tree, they're definitely going to be in this one across over here by radio. Now this tree right here by radio is a very popular tree because it's off to the corner and it's very dark. You can see it's like a shadow right here in the corner. So standing right here is very deadly for people that are trying to come up into radio and get kills, or even people that are trying to come out. You can catch them here very, very easily. So what I'm saying is, if you're inside of radio, before you ever even try to come out of radio with that GPU, you're checking this tree. Best place to check this tree for me personally is in between in this stair set. Before I ever leave radio, I'm checking this tree from right here. I'm crouching up and down between this window and looking between this window sill so I can see the tree here. And this is how I'm checking it every time I come out of radio. The next tree is actually right across from this tree, and it's actually in the corner by Radio Hill. Now, as I'm going through these trees, just keep note, because there's going to be a lot, okay? These trees are very, very important that you check. Players complain about trees all the time. If you're not taking the time to check these trees, you will get caught. This tree right here is a very, very, very important tree. A lot of people that come over Radio Hill like to stop here first and scope out the area before they advance forward. Now you gotta note that radio is one of the most, high valuable loot areas on this side of the map. So people are going to choose the trees that are kind of around it so they can keep an eye on radio and anyone coming up to radio. And this is gonna be one of those trees. Definitely, if you're inside of radio, you're going to be checking this tree on your way out at all times. This is a very hard tree to see people in also. People blend in very, very nicely here. So just make sure you're checking this tree, even if you're not in radio, even if you're just coming up this side from Lighthouse or just anything in general, make sure you're checking these trees. And we're going to get into two more trees here. Now, one of the most deadly trees on the radio side of the map is this tree right here. It's all the way up in the corner by the pipeline, and I'm telling you, this is not a tree you check all the time. This is one of those trees you check when you hear shots on the other end of the map. It's coming from radio side. You maneuver over there through pipeline and you're just trying to gauge where the players are coming from. You check this tree. A lot of kid players will sit in this tree and destroy this whole side of the map. This tree is very, very, very underrated and in the cut. I'm telling you, when I say in the cut, I mean it's in the cut. This tree is way over here by itself. If you're not paying attention to it, I'm telling you, someone can sit there the whole raid and just take out everyone, all right? So make sure you're looking at this tree, more so late game when you're coming down pipeline. Maybe you spawned over by border or some and you're coming over to this side. Maybe not so much of an early game tree to be checking. All right, the last important tree I want to speak of on radio side is this tree right over bunker. Look at this nice dark shadow that goes over it. You sit right here in the corner, you're completely invisible. Now this is one of those trees you're going to want to check early game. People are going to be rotating straight from bunkers, straight from this beach side, straight from the lighthouse, and they're going to rotate right into this tree and check over the area first before they head to radio. So if you're ever coming up, especially from this lighthouse side, just keep your eye on this tree as you're maneuvering on. See anyone who's trying to run in there, rotate, sit there and maybe just get a view. You can catch them. I sit here all the time. This is definitely a very, very nice tree for early game. Even in game, if you're rotating from somewhere else, you hear shots over on radio side, you're coming from border, come over the hill, you might want to check this tree also. There's a lot of trees to check, you know, but these are the main trees that you want to be checking on this side of the map because people tend to go there the most. All right, other than that, all these other trees, scan over them with your eyes, but pay the most attention to the ones that I just showed you. Now let's get over to the labs middle section of the map here. All right, coming down to this far center side of the map, looking through here from docks to labs, we have this tree right here. Now this tree is insanely dangerous for extract campers. All right, this tree is going to look right over docks and you can see this whole building. If anyone's trying to come out to the backside, you can sit here right here and wait for them the whole time. You have an AK Alpha suppressor on the hollow, they're done. Okay, simple as that. Now there's so many views you can have from here. They can be looking on top of the lab's roof, looking through these labs windows. So if you're even in labs, you got to be looking at this tree. All right, this tree is very deadly for capturing this whole angle. People rotating to docks, people rotating into labs, you know, anyone's trying to extract. If you're ever trying to extract at docks, you make sure you're watching this tree first. All right, because I've caught so many people that hit purple card. They try to take a long way, rotate all the way beachside, come to docks, and I'm just sitting right here and just watch them coming through. Wait for them to get to like this little stair set area where they're in the open, and boom, I just light them up. This tree right here is very dangerous. So if you're coming from docks, you're checking this tree. If you're coming from labs, you're checking this tree. All right, so this tree you are gonna see a lot in my videos. I come here all the time, and it's this one right here in the corner. It looks like the most open tree in the map. It's probably like right dead center in the middle. Right now, this tree is not somewhere where it's not, you know, hard to be spotted. People can spot you here very easily, but you're always going to see them first. All right, with this tree you can look at docks extract and see people running from docks. You can shoot them all the way through here if you have a good enough weapon, and you can catch anyone coming up and down Radio Hill. So if they get to this little corner section coming down, you can light them up here too, and you get to watch the windows here of labs, see anyone that wants to come out to the front. You can watch the secret rooms, watch a little bit of the roof, the ladder. Very insane spot. Even this little back hill drop area for early game, this tree is very deadly. All right, it has so much view, and if you're coming through any of these areas, definitely take a look into this tree, especially coming around this corner. If someone is sitting in this tree, they can hear your footsteps coming around this wall before you even get sight of this tree. So they're already going to be just here waiting for you to come around the corner, and they light you up at the gate. It's as simple as that. So this tree right here, super deadly. Let's go ahead and get into the next one. All right, now coming up on the direct opposite side of the other tree is this tree right here. Another super important tree. All right, now there's a lot of viable trees in the surrounding area, but these are still one of the most important ones that people are aware of. All right, so this one right here is very deadly. It serves the same purpose as the other tree. They're able to see people that are extracting, that are trying to go to beachside from Radio Hill, or maybe anyone who's trying to go border from this Churchill right here. So you get to see two extract locations, and they get to see labs, the roof area, and they're just hidden right here in the corner. Right, so this is probably one of the more popular trees to be looking at if you're ever coming down Churchill and you're trying to watch over the area first before you go down there. Stare hard into this tree, very hard into this tree. We actually learned that the further away from the tree you are, the easier it actually is to see the player in there because of the rendering of the tree. Either way, stare at this tree very hard. If you're on lab's roof and you're looking down anywhere, stare at this tree. If you're coming out these glass windows, second floor, third floor, look at this tree. I'm telling you, a lot of people will use these trees. And a quick tip, these trees up here are so bad. Don't ever use these top trees because they stand out so much. Like, I can literally see the wooden the log of the tree from right here so easily. So if you're standing there, I can see you just as well as I can see this log right here. So players can be seen very easily in this tree up here. Other than that, let's get on to the next tree. All right, so the next set of trees we're going to look at is pretty much most of the trees in this area right here on this side of labs. Now this side, a lot of players will come here early game from rotating from this back docks beach side or so, or this dock side, and they're going to come over here, get into this tree position, and watch the front of labs and see players who are coming in and out, or just trying to catch the players who are going into the front entrance. or mid-game, late game, they could just be here trying to find someone who's on top of the roof, and they're looking for a good spot to catch them off guard. So a lot of these trees are dangerous. Look at these dark shadows within the trees here. These are the trees that players are really looking for. These dark shadows that you can stand in, and players aren't really going to see too much. One of the most insane ones, I believe, is this one right here. Look how dark it is in this little pit right here. If you're standing right here, yeah, being seen is very, very hard. So especially if you're very lightly kitted and you're very, very thin, very hard to see you. So these trees right here, definitely look over them. If you're in the lab's roof, be looking here. Even early game, if you spawn from the middle of dock side and you're trying to rush into labs, make sure you're looking at all these trees as they're going through. Okay, so let's talk about these trees here on the church side. Now on church side, these trees are very, very dangerous, all right? A lot of dark shadows going over them, and the airdrop lands over here at church a handful of times, all right? So with all these trees here, the main ones you want to be checking are the ones right here in this corner. Oh my god, look at this. This is just disgusting. This tree right here should be deleted out the game. This shadow that foreshadows this whole area is absolutely insane. If you're sitting here and someone just happens to have a variable scope or an ACOG scope and no flashlight and they can't see into this darkness, it's 100% over for them. This tree right here is super, super dangerous, especially when there's an airdrop coming through and they're just going to sit right here and watch this whole area, and it's going to be very, very good for them. All right, so if you're coming down this way, there's an airdrop by any chance, make sure you're looking at this tree, or any shots in general. Most of the time you don't get into fights in this area, but half the time if there's any shots here in general, make sure you're looking at that tree. Also, we're going to get into this one right here in the corner. For some reason, this tree is so big and dark, but it's so hard to miss. And seeing the player right here, especially if they decide to hide behind the tree branch and kind of just like, you know, move their head left and right and peek through, this tree is very, very dangerous. All right, so this is going to be one of those ones you want to be checking out. Also, usually the airdrop will land like right here in this corner, so they have a very, very good view of it. Other than that, a lot of the other trees are kind of too centered. Most people don't really want to hang out in them, but obviously there's more trees here that are very dark, so just looking over this whole area is very, very smart. It's probably best to stay on the outskirts behind this little hill area as you check all these trees, not necessarily go straight through the center, just hug around the outskirts instead. Alright, so we're now coming to border side here. From my knowledge, I believe there's about maybe 3 trees left. Alright, so we're gonna get into this tree right here. This tree right here is very, very nice. All right, it's one of those trees that people tend to hide into when maybe they know there's a player inside of prison, but they don't want to fight him head on, so they run outside. They'll hide in this tree, wait for him to come out. You have a good view of this road, you have a good view of this door, this hill here. You can see a little bit into the windows here of the prison, and it's very, very dark in this tree. All right, so this is going to be a very nice tree that a lot of people are going to be using and abusing, so keep on the lookout for this, especially if you hear shots over to this side of the map. Definitely coming down this hill, this is one of those trees you want to be looking at for sure. The next set of trees we're going to be looking at are actually right here into the sensor. The trees that we're going to talk about is this tree right here and this tree right next to it down here in the middle. So this tree right here is very, very popular just because it has a dark shadow over it. You can watch this hill with this tree kind of blocking your angle, and you can sit on this side and watch this hole in the wall. You can see a little bit of the sniper hill, and it's just very, very good just for looking over prison. A lot of these trees here are very viable, you know, so you got to check a lot of these trees. Best case scenario, if you're inside a prison and rotating out, hug this side, or maybe hug the left side very, very hard here and just gaze through the trees as they're going through. So this one right here is going to be another one. And you know, these trees aren't checked a lot because unless they're on top of this hill, you know, that's like the best way to get an angle on these trees. Most of the time, if someone sees you, you know, exiting prison from this side, maybe they could have been, you know, somewhere in a tree over here, they rotate to this tree, they just catch you. Like, you can play these trees, you know, very, very well. So I would watch these trees a lot. maybe mid-game, very situational. Early game sometimes too when you're exiting prison. Something that I like to do is sit in these trees, wait for the last player to exit prison, take him out, then take all the loot, you know? So stuff like that can definitely happen. So watch over these trees as well. All right, now the last little section of important trees here is going to be this whole area right here. A lot of PvP goes down right here when people are trying to escape prison. Maybe they're getting chased. Most of the times it kind of happens right here for some reason. Or maybe there's an airdrop right there in the corner of prison and a lot of players are trying to rotate from this area. A lot of these trees are dark, a lot of hidden ones in the corner here. There's definitely a lot to check out here. Scan over this area. I don't recommend using flashlights to check trees. Just go ahead and stare at them as they're going by, because by the time you do flash a flashlight in one tree, if some players in a different tree, they're like, oh, he's checking trees, I'm just gonna light them up now, and they're just gonna kill you like a lot quicker, you know. So definitely just use your eyes. Don't make it too obvious that you're searching for trees. Just, you know, look around. All right, so that's gonna be pretty much it as far as the important trees. All right, so that's gonna be it. Those are some of the most important trees on island. Now take note, you can use any tree on island. There's so many trees. I could use this one right here, I could use this one in the corner, I could use this one. There's so many. But a part of being a good player is just singling out those few trees that you know players seem to go to, you know, regularly, the meta, if you would say. So definitely check out those trees that I showed in this video. These will help you greatly. It will make you stop complaining about tree campers, because trust me, when I'm playing this game, I catch these players all the time. All right, it is very easy. Eventually your eyes just get used to just gazing, boom 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 boom, looking at these trees, and it just becomes natural. All right, so if anyone likes this video, go ahead, hit the like button, hit the comment section if you have any questions, hit the subscribe button if you would like to see any similar content, and I will catch you guys later.